Good morning, Ringette fans. Welcome to the bronze final of the National Ringette Championships. We have some action for you here at the Nepean Sportsplex. Rive-Sud Revolution versus Edmonton WAM, battling it out for the bronze medal. My name is Emily Redenberg. I'll be doing our play-by-play. And I'm joined by my colleague, Lucianne. Lucianne, how are we today?
Great. We're looking forward to some great games today. We've got Edmonton WAM as the home team in the blue. Rive-Sud Revolution in the red as the visiting team. Rive-Sud is the bronze medalist from last year. Edmonton WAM was the silver medalist from last year.
So both fighting for at least a medal. WAM coming off a bit of a disappointing game. They were hoping to get that win to take it for an opportunity to take the gold this time, but they're in the silver contention. Bit of a challenging week so far, but Rive-Sud, they're trying to match what they did last year.
They are. Now, these two did play each other in the round robin. The winning team in that game was Edmonton. 7-5 was that score. And but it was a close game. Shots on goal were 43-38. Penalty minutes were 14 and 16. So really a back and forth game. Laurie St. Pierre was the goalie for that game. She is a player to watch. She's we can see her there on our screen right now, warming up in the net. And on the other side, we've
got Avalanche.
Not likely will be Greywall starting,
yeah,
but we'll have to wait for that confirmation.
Well, and we'll see if they end up playing St. Pierre as well, because Evelyn Martel, man, she stood on her head to get to this bronze final yesterday.
She did. I mean, that was a great game, and just she just ended up on the wrong side of that score, but not through anything on her behalf.
Well, and they'll be up against some offensive powerhouse. Jillian Drager, our feature on the WAM side, she has a wicked shot. She's typically on the scoreboard, at least on the goal side, but she'll be looking to really take this one forward and make up for some misses yesterday. So far, it's been low scoring, so we'll want to make sure, I think for both of these teams, they'll want to make sure they're coming out strong on the offensive and really setting the tone in this first initial quarter.
Yes, and it was quite similar in the actually in the round robin game. WAM scored 4 goals in the first quarter, and so one of our featured players for Rive-Sud is Laurence Larocque, also a scoring machine for her team. Mm-hmm. Actually, she and Jillian Drager are both up for the NRL awards for most valuable player for their team. So, and they played together on Team Canada.
Well, and Laurence Larocque, she was just getting shut down by BC Thunder's Sarah McDonald yesterday. So a lot of really amazing opportunities just not going her way. You could sense the frustration. I imagine she's got a lot of this pent-up energy today coming in saying, I need to score one today.
Yeah. So now we've got on the defense for Edmonton, we've got Melissa Masutka, again, another national team member, and she is a strength on the back end for Edmonton. Not afraid to step up into the play when needed, but really a great quarterback for her team when it comes to the play developing from their own end, advancing to the opponents.
And as a forward, it's really such a special gift to be able to work with defense that you can trust, that have your back, that you are like, this is my rock. And Melissa Masutka is one of those defense. She's been up multiple times for Best Defense of the Year. I think she's up again this year.
She's in for it again this year.
Yeah, so one to watch for sure. She'll make a good pairing with the offensive force from Edmonton WAM.
Yeah, and I should mention too, Drager and Larocque are up for both the MVP and the Top Center Award.
It'll be a good matchup this morning, Lucianne. We'll be excited to bring this one to you. A special shout out to our All Women Sports Network for tuning in. Hello. We're very excited to bring this to a wider audience. So if this is your first time seeing Ringette, we'll try and shed some light on how things are working today, but we know you will enjoy it. This is going to be a fast-paced game, lots to see, and we'll start getting set here to figure out who will be starting goaltenders. Looks like St. Pierre is actually going to be in net.
And just for those who are not aware, we will have our national anthem first. Players lining up on the blue lines.
Graywall will start for WAM. No surprise there.
Yes. Those of you that are new to Ringette and tuning in here, the way we play this game for the National Ringette League, we have 4 quarters of 13 minutes stop time each. The visiting team will have the opening free pass, similar to a throw-in in basketball or soccer. To start the play, it'll be the visiting team in the first and third and the home team in the second and the fourth quarters. We'll have a 1-minute break between 1 and 2 and between 3 and 4. At the halftime, we will have a flood and a 15-minute break.
And we'll start things off here with Rive-Sud at center. Just to have a little bit of a play up here. 4 start in the middle. As WAM tries to hold the line. Peniel looking for an outlet. And WAM holding that blue line strong here, not making it obvious where she needs to be. 14 seconds on the shot clock, just wasting time, fires it down low. Finds connection there. Vachon made a shot attempt there. Didn't quite get it through to Baji. She took it up on the sideboards. Long stretch pass down to Fevin. Fevin with speed. Just gets pushed into the blue line. Great aggressive play there just to make sure they forced it over the blue line.
That's right. It's a great check by Rive-Sud. And that's one of our original rules. The ring needs to be passed across each blue line. Preferably to a teammate, but definitely needs to be passed. So no end-to-end rushes. So great move by Rive-Sud to push that across the line.
They'll get another attempt here early on. Try this again, see how the line holds. Gets it through this time. Alain drops it back. Now the fight on the corner with Lavoie. Lavoie's got 2 on her. Drager now picks up that ring and popped out of the corner. She's got speed. Tries to find Wong. Wong fighting for it. And that's like both sides.
Yeah, that was both sides. So bounced off of the Rive-Sud skates. Bounced off the Rive-Sud skates. She wasn't aware of it and picked it up in her own head. Great choice to do that anyway. Get the stoppage. Don't give Edmonton a break. You really don't want to provide any gifts to your opponents that they haven't earned.
Now, Drager. Moves that into the corner now for Ketsa. Ketsa down to Drager at the crease. Now it's open. Ketsa. She takes the long skates, fakes it, drops it back to Drager. Drager now back over, makes the fake. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Winding down up front. Up a pro check, it looks like. Cutting through that crease. Sneaking in behind the net.
Yeah, cut right through the crease on that. So it looked like a good opportunity, but she was too close to the crease. Her stick's going in when she's taking that shot. And again, one of our original rules, the crease belongs only to the goalie.
WAM holding the line here again. Deciding to get really aggressive there. Put 3 on the line. As Rive-Sud is able to move it into the zone now with Boucher. Boucher, she's got 7 seconds on the shot clock. Checked off by Dreger at center. Right now it's in the neutral zone. And that'll get whistled down. Lucienne, we should mention that this is also a special day for our major officials. For folks that don't know, the major officials being both the shot clock and the shot clock operator and the Onyx officials, they work hard all week. And the night before the gold medal, bronze medal finals, they get assigned who's going to take on the games. So it's a big moment for them too. So we've got Brandon Miller and Jamie Nelson on the ice.
And then, yes, it's absolutely, they're another team out there. They work just as hard to earn the spot in the championship finals, the same as these teams do. So Brandon is from this Ottawa area. It's his 5th Canadian Championships. Jamie Nelson is from Alberta, High River area, grew up in Calgary. Her first Canadian Championships was 2008. She hasn't been to every one since then. She's got a couple of children, so had to take some time off for that. But she has refereed at our Canada Winter Games. She did the gold medal game there in PEI in 23, and at World Championships 3 times.
Sean had some speed, drops it between her legs to Larocque with a bit of a bouncing ring. Larocque now with it from the side, shoots. They got a good angle there, almost swiped.
So you can see the shot clock was reset on that shot as long as it contacts the goalie when she's in her crease. That is a reset. And our shot clock operator today in the cross-country profile is David Saunders from Prince Edward Island. So we've gone west to east with our major officials for this game today. This morning.
Continues the cycle, moves it back. Lacombe. Back down to Sezia. Sezia moves it across. Doesn't get a clear look there, but Lacombe picks it up. Lacombe tries to bust through the center in the D. Gets a little bit of space to earn, shoots. Greywall was there.
And a great defense by Edmonton. They're just squeezing that lane that she was trying to get through. But then some good marking in return by Rive-Sud, and Greywall had nobody open to throw the ring out to. She has 5 seconds from when the ring comes into the crease to put it back into play. So we tend to find individual marking there as opposed to the lane control that Edmonton is showing us.
Larocque shoots, hits the post. Wow, what a rocket. She's going to pick up her own rebound.
And she had at least one of those yesterday as well.
Plant taking her time. Gets it over to Larocque. Larocque tries to see Plant again. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Still some time here. Plant gets it past. Shoots and it's in. Hard on the ice. Wasn't anticipated. Greywall just missing her pad, getting down there in time. Rive-Sud up early, 1-0.
So just a backhand that caught the inside of the post, a slider on the ice. Those are one of the most difficult shots for the goalies when they're that slider on the ice like that.
And Plant made it look like she was going to continue the cycle behind the net as well. I think that really contributed to the fact that Greywall was just a couple seconds behind that. Putting, again, Rive-Sud up 1-0 here in this bronze final. Ferry now at center. WAM needing to respond. Sends it on the short boards. Arlinghouse does another shot. Krocek. Ryan York, rather. She had the rebound on that. A diving save from St. Pierre. One of her first looks. Arlinghouse with speed. Shoots. Decides to go a little bit lower on that as well. St. Pierre gets a pad on it. And we'll get our first penalty of the game. That was a close look for Ryan York. Right on that post. Really putting in the effort to get that rebound.
Wow,
but
what a great move by St. Pierre on that one.
Okay, so that'll be 2 minutes for holding.
And that's to Fevin, I believe, number 13.
Correct.
And that was just, she grabbed a hold of the Rive-Sud stick when when they were trying to check the ring off of her.
Rive-Sud with Larocque to Plante. Plante staying on the outside. Trying to look for her options. Triangle shutting it down. And gets checked off on the line. Ring pops up to center. It'll be a skate for Dumont. With that long support pass in the neutral ice to Elaine. Elaine firing it down. The shot clock is about to expire. Looking for that reset. Gets it. Drager now for WAM. Tries to move it to Lee, but Elaine steps right into that space. Takes it away. Gets it over. Now Vachon to Plante. Plante fakes it. Greywall bit, but Plante decides to continue the skate. 17 seconds on the shot clock. Back to Lavoie. On the change, on the fly. Lavoie out wide, looking for options. Fakes. Stays up high, shoots. Looking again to get that ring just above the pads. But Greywall, strong in her positioning.
And again, shooting to that stick side.
Shannon. The quick stab, fighting for it at center. Lots of pressure here, picked up by Rive-Sud. Sezia to Keeble. Keeble shoots, and I think Shannon got a piece of that with her elbow. Stays out, Rive-Sud with the possession still. On the outside, changing on the fly, Larocque. That's their shooter. She wants something here. 10 seconds on the shot clock, staying out wide. Cutting inside, shoots it.
Great use of the natural screen by the defender there, with Larocque shooting it right between the legs.
Well, and they seem to like to pick off that stick side on Greywall. They've been seeing that as an opportunity a couple times there, and that was, you know, the kind of the angle that they were successful on just a few short minutes ago. Larocque starts with the ring. Will she shoot? Yes, tries to pick that corner again. They must have watched the tapes back and figured out that that's the spot to do it.
And I mean, they're just such great shooters. I just love watching them. So this one's just a tie-up. It's a move it or lose it. So the Rive-Sud forward had the ring, but double teamed by Edmonton WAM to keep her along the boards. Oh, there's a tip from inside the line there. Goes all the way down to the other end.
With pressure now, 2-on-1. Rive-Sud trying to get out of danger here in their own zone. Now at center with Larocque. Larocque sees Lavoie. Lavoie's got to skate hard to pick that one up. Nisuka tracking the ring. Now it's up top with Lacombe. Shoots. Does that spin-a-rama. Tries to find the other top corner. Just goes wide. And the battle results in goalie ring.
Yeah, and again, the mover to lose it. Edmonton defenders jumping on that ring carrier behind the net as soon as possible.
Lauren Henderson, one of the two Henderson sisters, tried to get it into an open corner, but that foot race was won by a red jersey instead. Keeble now down to the low positioning, just a little bit too much there for Lacombe. Now Kate Henderson to Lauren Henderson, tipped it over the line. She can't touch it, but she gets that ring into the corner.
Okay, and we have another penalty here. This is to Rive-Sud.
Asking a question about the play.
In your defensive end.
Looks like that'll go to number 12, Christian Krocek. Jamie Nelson explaining the call to Captain Debaji.
So that's a delay of game call to Krocek. We don't have a great...
Rive-Sud on the power play here. Larocque on the outside, moves it to Plante. Plante shovels it over, but Debaji steps in. chair, had a look. Now Ketsa, shorthanded here, pushing her way over the line, trying to get it to Dreger, doesn't find its way over there. Great battle, though. She is kind of by herself there as the forward with this penalty kill. Rive-Sud moving down into the corner. Getting a bit of a line change here on the fly. Keeble. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Makes the fake drop, shoots. Again, looking for that stick side. Rive-Sud picking up the rebound. Just over a minute remaining in this penalty to WAM. Lacombe to Sezia. Sezia makes the swap in on the defensive side. And a shot from the low. Basically at the line, Keeble.
Raywall does not know where that ring is. So she just stays motionless. She does not want to be popping that ring into her own net. Better to take the 5 count and get the play restarted fresh.
Well, and despite the angle, like Keeble was basically on that goal line. Despite the angle, she had a good look there, and I think it was because it was such a surprise shot.
Yep. And Keeble was on her back foot, too, so didn't get quite the strength on the shot that she wanted, but that can be still the trickiest one to follow.
Home. She says, yes, just a little bit too much. Sezia drops it now with Shannon. Shannon with speed, getting it out of the zone, trying to at least, facing some heat here. Shannon trying to find the outlet again, shorthanded for the next 20 seconds here. Great pressure from Rive-Sud to keep this at the neutral zone, and Misuka almost lets that go over the blue line, but recovers her own ring. Shannon shoots. It's a tight angle there. St. Pierre, no problem.
No.
Now up front.
Oh, wow.
Plot, she fakes it, goes, hits the post. And Larocque, no goal in the crease. Wow, what a sequence. Plot, up front, tight.
No.
Wow, what an opportunity. Larocque, she fired it past the goalie. Graywall had maybe a piece of it, but because there had been a crease violation, that one got waved off. Just a bit of chaos in front of the net, Lucienne.
So, yeah, the question from the coach is why was the whistle there? Edmonton was in the crease, and they did gain momentary control of the ring, and that's why there was a whistle just before that shot. So control is control. It's not momentary. There's no length to control. As long as the stick is in the ring or there's an intentional redirect with your stick skater glove, that is control.
Larocque to Vachon. Now Plante shoots. She had the short post. Saw that opening. Graywall is strong. And WAM will get the ring back for crease violation. Rive-Sud trying to set up that play in the zone there. They had a couple good looks. Still hunting for this second goal here. WAM now on the fly with Ketsa. Ketsa spinning, gets taken into the corner. Doesn't have much of an angle there. Fabulous drop from the defense of Rive-Sud to push her out of the way.
It was a great redirect or channeling there by the Rive-Sud defense. And Rive-Sud in the crease on that play, so Edmonton will get a fresh start here in the Rive-Sud end.
Well, and Ketsa is one of their top goal scorers as well, so they know that they need to keep an eye on her, but that's been one of her best looks so far.
And we're just under 2 minutes to go here in this opening quarter.
Ashbarsh tries to get it at center. A little bit of a fight here. Now Rive-Sud with it. Sezia sees the long pass to Lacombe just in front of the net there. Lacombe puts on the jet and picks it up. She's got time and space. Moves it to Lavoie. Now with WAM. Then into Debaji. Debaji, she's got space, shoots. Again, going just above the pad, but St. Pierre slides right into it. They'll keep the rebound. Tashbarsh now with the cycle. They want some zone time here. And an angle shot to get the reset here. Now popped up to Rive-Sud. Down low with Boucher. Larocque to Boucher. Settling into this offensive cycle with speed. Larocque down low, moves it to Vachon. Time is winding down on the shot clock here. Vachon fires it. It hits Larocque instead. Bounces into a wham stick. Ryan York steps right up into it. Now with Fevin. Fevin down into the corner. Getting a delayed call on this one. And that'll give WAM the power play. As 16.7 seconds remain in this quarter. So that'll be 2 minutes for hooking.
Okay. So that's a hooking penalty to number 20 from Rive-Sud. Just
Ketsa. She saw that up top.
Okay, so 5 seconds left in this opening quarter. Rive-Sud just firing it down the ice to try and kill the time. And that's it for our first quarter of action.
Some energy here this morning. Lucienne, I think I expected them to come out with a little bit more fire. Rive-Sud, though, they had a couple good looks. They're up 1.
Yeah,
starting to settle into this game.
Hasn't really found their footing yet, and I don't know what Rive-Sud's doing differently this game from the last game, but certainly Rive-Sud has we've spent a lot of time down in the WAM end, and Edmonton will certainly want to turn that around. So let's take this moment to thank our sponsors. This particular game, the bronze medal game for the NRL, is sponsored by the National Ringette School. The National Ringette School offers ringette development camps in cities across Canada throughout the summer. The National Ringette School is recruiting camp counselors to share their passion for ringette with young athletes across the country. Apply at the NRS.com to work with us in July and August across Canada. And that National Ringette School has been operating for years. I know they have literally, as they say, camps across the country. They started coming down to Eastern Canada a few years ago. And a lot of our young athletes, certainly in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and PEI, have taken advantage of their opportunities.
So play is getting set for our second quarter. Both teams getting a couple minutes to regroup, share some new strategies, reinforce the same strategies.
And
what's working, what's not.
WAM, as the home team, will have the free pass here, and they are on the power play for another minute 44. Now, when a team has one penalty, they're still allowed to have 3 skaters inside the ringette line in their own end. If they gain a second penalty, they are restricted to 2 new skaters down there. And we saw that yesterday in WAM's semifinal game.
Long for WAM. Back to Drager. Drager fakes it like she's going to pass, continues the skate. 10 seconds on the shot clock, out wide. Tries to feed it down low to Krocek. She was there, but didn't get the stab. Wants the reset. She'll get it. Back to Drager. Drager to Krocek. Drager. Still on the outside. Moves the ring through center. Just a little bit too much there, but Mitsuko will support. Now to Ketsa. Ketsa fakes it up top. Shoots hard on the ice, but doesn't get it through all the way to the net. Drager now, she needs the reset, spins, finds pressure there. Great work from Emily Cunnill to push her out, channel her, and keep her out of the high percentage areas there.
Oh, an excellent play by Rive-Sud number 11 to not carry their ring over.
Larocque's got 2 on her. She fights her way through this check, now 3. She's gonna get a penalty drawn because of that battle. She was fighting hard in that neutral zone, really working for that ring. You could tell she wanted it, and she's rewarded with a penalty drawn.
Very strong on the ring there. Just puts the pressure on her stick.
that'll be 2 minutes for hooking.
Yeah, that was Ringette out. 2 minutes for the hook. Just, LaRock was smart. She just kept skating, so that Ketsa ended up trying to check her from behind. And those will often end up in hook slash or tripping penalties.
That's always the advice, is keep those feet moving. Plante to Lavoie. Trying to take space up front. Moves it to Plante. Gets another hook. And Henderson in neutral territory. We're now 5-on-4. Rive-Sud on the power play here as WAM takes it into the offensive zone shorthanded. And St. Pierre sticks her leg out, gets a piece of that one. The net coming off just a little bit in that move. Kind of a funny one. That was great tracking from her to know exactly where that ring was going to go.
Yes.
That's the instinct sticking in.
That was. And it's just, when we saw some of that passing earlier, I find this division is so smart. If they don't have a passing lane going forward, they're not afraid to pass it back to their defense and shift to the other side of the ice. They're really...
Henderson shoots. St. Pierre, another piece of it. She's been strong. Tajbarz tries to cut through center to get the ring on the net. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Gets the ring into the crease, so St. Pierre will toss it off into the corner. Now with Vachon up to Keeble. Keeble's with it. Henderson fighting that. Keeble getting taken down into Greywall. Henderson deciding to really play that aggressively and not risk the goal. Instead, will be in the box. We'll have a 3-on-2, Lucienne, for 33 seconds. Now, WAM really struggled with the penalties last game. They had a lot of 3-on-2 opportunities because of penalties.
They did, and then it's interesting because in the reverse, Rive-Sud in a previous game they only had 6 penalties, but they came in 3 pairs.
Now LaRock steps in, fakes it, goes high.
And that actually goes over the glass. So it will be a free pass for Edmonton. One of the rare situations where we have a free pass for the defense instead of a goalkeeper ring.
And on a 3-on-2. I feel like that's ultra rare. WAM now. They want to waste some of this time, kill this 3-on-2. Now Draeger gets it up to Mitsuka. Mitsuka just firing it down to open ice so Draeger can meet the ring. Wins the battle. 12 seconds on this 3-on-2. Cuts through the center, has some space, gets picked off as she moves. Rive-Sud wants this last attempt here with LaRock. 3 and then the zone now. Back to 3-on-3. Still 1 minute and 20 remain on the power play to Rive-Sud. But even numbers in the zone now. Plante to Lacombe. Lacombe cuts through center. Gets picked up by the defense. Strong sticks there.
Yeah, there really wasn't the space there for Plante to get through.
And sometimes you think to yourself, well, it's just sticks, I can muscle through those, but they've got muscles on those arms.
They do. They do. The training these players do is incredible.
Dumont fighting for it at center. 2-on-1. That's a tough battle.
That's a good double team by Edmonton at Shannon and Arlinghouse on that check. So they're rewarded with the free pass, that move it or lose it.
And WAM's strategy there, sometimes teams will pick one coverage strategy, and WAM seems to play more of a see what's happening in the moment. Should we send 2 on? Should we play more of a zone? Should sometimes we send 3 on? They're very adaptive in that way.
They are. They're a very experienced team. And they have 7 players on their roster from Team Canada. I was remiss earlier this week, and I had not included Lauren Henderson in that list of players who were Team Canada players. So you saw when they were shorthanded by 2, all 3 of the players out there, Debaji and Draeger and not Shannon, were all from the national team. Masutka.
On Rive-Sud's power play, shorthanded here. WAM waits the fake with Arlinghouse. she's keeping it out wide, figuring out her options. Shoots, St. Pierre takes it. Keeps it with her, does the toss. And St. Pierre is very experienced on the international stage as well. 2017, 2016 junior national team, 2019, 2022, and 2025 senior team. So she's got some experience to bring here and some teammates as well that'll have seen her before.
Yes, and so she's got seven players on the opposing team that she's has quite good knowledge of.
Wham at center, just too much. Ring goes over 2 lines, so Henderson can't touch it. And that'll get picked up by Raymond Couturier instead. Flaunt gets that ring with her feet, so Vachon touches it. Gets it settling into the zone here. Vachon cuts through center, tries to get the shot off the top, but it's stuck in Mitsuka's, actually stuck in Mitsuka's skates. You don't see that very often.
Not often at all.
But the ring is rubber and it's hollow, so it can flex a little bit.
It can. So that was literally stuck between her blade and her boot.
Yeah. So that'll obviously be a whistle.
That's a whistle. So it will be a free pass for Rive-Sud.
They want a new ring. It probably broke.
It probably got cut.
Yeah.
And
it makes a big difference with those rings. If you've got a slice in it, it doesn't move the same. It doesn't feel the same. It makes a big difference. So they always have backup rings in the box to switch them out when they need to.
Yeah, the ring just flattens out and you don't get the same bounce off the boards.
Yeah, it's pretty flat. The shot attempt. She thought she saw the top corner here. Lavoie had some space. Now spinning with it is Boucher. Rive-Sud taking things back up. We're on 5-on-5 here with Elaine. Now she drops it back to Lavoie. Lavoie to Sezia. Sezia shoots and just misses. That ring just starts to sail through but stays out.
And then Graywall with a nice little tap on it to make sure it gets to her defense and that the Rive-Sud forward couldn't pick it off.
Battle in the corner. Tajbarsh fighting her way through. Tried to get that low pass to Henderson. Blocked off by an active stick from Bernard Lacaille. Watch that very keenly.
And right away, three WAM players on that Rive-Sud ring carrier.
Again, very adaptive, but passing it right over to Bernard Lacaille. Bernard Lacaille over to Keeble. Keeble to Vachon. Vachon to Plot. Plot shoots! A sliding save from Graywall keeps that out.
Graywall made a great move on that one. She was able to read that play and get herself over to that far post. Great job.
Speed is starting to pick up in this one. WAM showing signs of life here now with Ketsa down low. Down in the middle to Drager. Drager steps in, fakes it, goes to the short side. St. Pierre gets a glove on it. WAM now still got lots of time on the shot clock. Drager shoots, hits the mesh on the back of the net. Lavoie to Sezia. Sezia getting channeled away. Lacombe getting that pressure up top, moving the ring down low to Lavoie. Lavoie saw that cross crease pass, needs to get a reset here. Doesn't get through, tries it again.
And Graywall made a great move to not contact that, or not have the ring contact her when it was going across her crease.
And that meant that they got the goalie ring on the reset.
Yeah, they got the reset.
Now up front, Lavoie spinning. She's got 2 on her back. And an empty friend. Sezia. It's hard to see these numbers on the red.
It's only slightly better than yesterday's red on black.
Yeah.
Now, today we have black on red. And now we have a delayed call coming here to Rive-Sud. So Edmonton sends 4 skaters in.
Ketsa steps in. Oh, that was Shannon actually. Both the tall ones. Shannon Taking the available space, trying to take advantage of that 5-on-3 on the delayed call. So LeBlanc in the box. She'll get 2 minutes for body contact. That'll put WAM up on the power play here. 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this second quarter. Still tons of Ringette to play. Again, very low scoring, Lucianne. We've been seeing this all week.
We have. They're really split games. They're either high scoring or low scoring. We haven't had much mid-range work. Like we've had a 1-0, we've had a 3-3 tie, we've had 3-1, 4-3 yesterday.
Drager tries to find Ketsa. Now Ketsa shoots, and she goes bar down. Doesn't go past the goal line, but what a beautiful shot from up top. That's a threat now. Drager scooping it up. Lots of time on the shot clock here, 25 seconds. Keeping things outside, fakes it. Now to Ketsa, not in the right lane. Cunnill steps right up. Larocque wanting to make the smart decision. Still, Rive-Sud is down a player, so harder to find the outlet in the neutral zone, and WAM playing a little bit more of that zone coverage, so it's harder to find a jersey that you want to pass to. And that'll get touched by the bench. It does. So the bench is not part of the play. So that's why that whistle happens. Having a bit of a laugh over that one, I think.
So now just a confirmation between the officials as to what occurred there.
Again, such a special time for the officials. This is their nationals as well. They're on the big stage, and we get to have the best of the best.
We do, and really these two are excellent. The other thing with the officials, too, is there's always a standby for these games in case something happens to one of them during the play. So we have an official in the stands that's watching in this game so that they can see what the pace is and what the calls are, what the vibe is around the game, so that if they have to step in, it's not too steep a learning curve for them.
St. Pierre getting that 5-second toss. She's just like really putting her body into position to move and make space, because Arlinghouse was really tight on that crease, not allowing her to really throw the ring anywhere. Usually when you're doing a goalie coverage, you often try to think about what arm the goalie is throwing from, because sometimes they're limited in their movements with whatever side their arm's on.
And it's really, and then you have goalies who will throw with either one. They'll tuck their stick under their arm and then use the other hand to throw, not the catcher.
It's a very specific Ringette skill set that you do need to have. All goalies will have different styles, as we see. Now Henderson still on the power play here for 15 seconds. Tajbarsh gets her own rebound, shoots, and it's off of a lane. And Tajbarsh fights, gets the rebound. She'll get the fresh 30 seconds. She's fighting hard here. Now to Shannon. Shannon on the short side. Bit of a backhand shovel. Gets the reset, but battle ensues on the boards. 2-on-2. Yeah. They're playing an aggressive game on both sides. You know, there's the give and take of, do we want to risk having players commit to the ring and not be in front of the net?
Exactly. So when you get the two like that, they get the double team on the ring carrier and get the reward of the goalkeeper ring.
So now we're back to 5-on-5 action.
Just about 2 minutes left in this opening half.
Now to Lacombe. Lacombe up top. Blocked off by the center, Shannon. Boucher gets tied up on those boards. Can't move the ring around.
Yeah,
we'll
good
have
checking by Shannon on that one.
Drager steals that at a high pace. Spinning off that ring. Now to Henderson. Kate Henderson to Drager with speed. Drager by herself. Slams on the break. Shoots. It's in. What a play. Drager ties things up. 1-1. With speed. Slams on the break. Sends it high. What a beautiful goal.
That was. I mean, at that point, St. Pierre has no chance. One-on-one, the shooter's going to win a high percentage of the time.
That's just beautiful. 1-1. Rive-Sud trying to respond here before going into the half. An aggressive center play from Drager, picks the ring up. Now, WAM wants to go in with the lead here. Pro check, she gets the shovel shot, kind of bobbles. There's enough snow in the crease to slow it down for St. Pierre. Just under a minute remaining in this quarter. WAM will get the ring in the offensive zone. Starting to feel, again, a little bit more energy here. 1-1, still low scoring, lots of Ringette to go. But WAM wants to walk into the half with the lead here. They have been down this whole game, now just tied. Starting the cycle. Arlinghouse fakes it again, takes the shot out wide, bouncing it off the boards, gets it back into the crease for St. Pierre. She'll pick it up. Support pass behind the net. Now at center, there's a battle. Who's going to take it? 20 seconds remaining in this period. Lavoie trying to find someone who's friendly. Fires it over the opposite blue line just to get it out of harm's way. In the dying seconds of the period, Bevan trying to find friendly fire with Arlinghouse. Arlinghouse moving, battling. And will come up with 1-1 at the half. Starting to pick up some speed and some energy here at the bronze final of the 2026 Canadian Ringette Championships. Rive-Sud Revolution versus Edmonton WAM. These teams have seen each other before, but this one means more. We'll have the deciding periods coming up after the flood. But we've seen some great action so far in these first two quarters. Both teams putting in some effort. Some great saves on both sides. Thwarting the opportunities. There's that first look from the goal that started things off here with Plante on Greywall. Just that odd angle on the ice. Not enough time to set things up. Amazing save from St. Pierre here, keeping things 1-0. Just an amazing dive, showing that senior national, junior national talent. She is a pro. Shannon with the opportunity there. St. Pierre, no problem. Plante fakes it, just hits the post. That was another close look. She's a big goal scorer for the Rive-Sud Revolution. And Ketza with a look here. Again, St. Pierre in her way. She's got that long reach, great channel from the defense. Really battling on both sides. Some penalties here and there, keeping things a little bit more interesting. Both teams will want to make sure that they're just taking care to stay full strength in these coming periods. And Greywall with another great save there. She's really been a rock for this WAM team in these first two periods, but here's Drager. She throws on the brakes, fires it high. Just that she came in with such speed and then changed it up with slamming on her brakes. That juxtaposition, I'll use a long word, that juxtaposition just really challenging to deal with as a goaltender. Not a lot of space. And so we'll take you into an interview.
So, it's the Lucianne Ingoldsby here with Peter Lizer, the Executive Director for Ringette Canada. And Peter, just a few questions for you. This is your second Canadian Championship since you've joined Ringette Canada. Your first one was you were still fairly fresh to the job. So what have you learned over these 2 years?
I think what I've really appreciated is just the amount of effort and time that's put in by all the organizing committee, all the volunteers. We're so grateful for the volunteers that are helping put this event on. It's been a terrific event so far. And what I've really realized too is just the skill level. I really appreciate just the skating and just how fast the game is, the fastest game on ice, and I think I've just got a better appreciation of that.
And this is new for Ringette Canada to have back-to-back Canadian Championships in the same geographic area. We've got that coming up again in 28 and 29 in Calgary. So what's the benefits you see to doing that?
Well, there's huge benefits for sure. There's economies of scale, obviously, because you can obviously keep the same host organizing committee together. A lot of the volunteers can come back, a lot of the sponsors, the partners. Because a lot of times, you host the event for 1 year, and all of a sudden it's over, and you've learned some lessons. You think, gosh, if we could do that again, we'd probably change a couple of things. So I think we've had a lot of lessons learned from last year. It's just been a great event this year. So there's lots of benefits.
And the other new thing this year is the All Women's Sports Network. How did that come about?
Well, actually, it wasn't that difficult. We actually reached out to them. I mean, it's a phenomenal partnership. They're looking for content for the All Women's Sports Network. We reached out to them in approximately October. They were very, very open to it. They didn't know much about Ringette, so we had to do quite a bit of explaining, quite frankly. It's an American-based company, actually out of Hollywood, California. So we had to do some explaining to them, but they were all on board, and we're so happy for their partnership. And we're broadcasting the bronze medal game and the gold medal game. But I would note, I don't want to forget that CBC Sports has been very, very good to us, and nothing happens without our production team from ISI Live. So very pleased with all partnerships.
Okay, So, Peter, any last words for these athletes?
For the athletes themselves, well, I think they've just represented their teams, their communities so well this week. They've been great ambassadors, and I think they're richer for the experience, quite honestly. I hope they're so proud of their efforts. Regardless if they come home with a medal or not, they've just done such a great job, and we're so proud of them.
Okay, and that's Peter Yzer, Executive Director for Ringette Canada. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Peter and Lucianne. Great to hear from our leadership in Ringette Canada. And again, talking about this game, we're going into the second half shortly here for the bronze final, National Ringette League. Edmonton WAM versus Rive-Sud. We're tied here at the half, 1-1. Lots of action to come so far. First goal in the first quarter to Rive-Sud, but then WAM answers quite in the second quarter. And we'll see who comes out and prevails with that medal shortly here. And we'll take you to commercial.
They're just superhumans, and they come from a humble background.
Seeing my sisters make big teams, it made me realize, even though we're from this little province, you can make your dreams come true if you work hard.
They just love the game so much.
8 seconds remaining. Snowden with a shot. Score!
This past season, the two of them scored 97 and 96 points each. That's in 24 games.
My earliest memory of Ringette is my dad making an outdoor rink in the backyard.
Our older sisters did not go easy on us. There was no mercy in our family.
She knows what I'm capable of. I know what she's capable of.
So they've always been really close. Moncton sisters ready to take on Ringette World.
All right, in.
This is the game we came here to play, guys.
They said that if she got another concussion, she better be able to play Ringette again.
Oh, nice.
I'm always scared they're going to get hurt.
When we first started the Atlantic Attack, we were at the bottom of the barrel. Now we can actually compete.
People sacrifice a lot for the sport.
I am just realizing now everything that they had to go through in order for us to just play a simple game.
I love you!
It's always been about togetherness.
You said it once and you said it before, them Snowdens are not too bad Ringette players.
All very, very good players. All spend a lot of time at the rink. I know that these younger girls have spent a lot of time watching their older sisters play, and it's fun to watch them in a very nice family.
Just now at the halftime for the bronze medal final for the National Ringette League, Edmonton WAM, Rive-Sud Revolution, 1-1 as we, again, come into the half. Don't leave us quite yet. We've just got the Zamboni to make the ice fresh, and we'll get these two teams back to decide who is walking away with the championship medal in 2026. Here in Ottawa, we're joining you from the Nepean Sportsplex. So thank you for joining us online, and stick with us as we continue action here. Edmonton WAM versus Rive-Sud Revolution at half. back at the half. Just getting things cleaned up fresh here on the ice for the bronze medal championship game between Rive-Sud Revolution and Edmonton WAM. First period action brought you a goal from Rive-Sud Revolution to start things off. They had the lead for quite some time until Drager responded from WAM in the second quarter. A low-scoring game for those that know. Tight action on both sides. Rive-Sud Revolution coming up with a little bit more energy. We'll see how these two teams fare in the second half. Lots of fans in the stands today. We're at the Nepean Sportsplex here in wonderful Ottawa. Second year hosting the Canadian Ringette Championships, and have some fabulous time here over the weekend in today's game. Lots of action here. Plante with the first goal for Rive-Sud Revolution. She's had some couple opportunities this game, but St. Pierre standing on her head for Revolution, just not letting anything through. There's another look for Plante. She's just been hunting for that second goal. St. Pierre standing strong. Lots of experience both in these games and internationally, being a member of both the senior national team for 3 years and the junior national team for 2 years. So hard to beat that, but WAM will certainly try. They are the silver medalists from last year. Rive-Sud Revolution is the bronze medalist from last year as well. Quite the matchup. But we'll bring you the second half of that shortly here, as again we get set here with some fresh ice. Athletes are speaking to each other, figuring out their game plan. Who will take the gold? We will find out. Thank you for joining. Stick with us.
When Sports Weekend asked me to come and cover Ringette, I had the same question everybody else had. What is Ringette?
I don't know. Do you know what Ringette is?
I really don't know.
I guess something to do with a ball. I don't know. What do you think?
Girls play it? It's girls hockey. That's what it is.
Isn't it?
But the process of moving the ring down the ice is what makes the game of Ringette different. You know, in hockey, they have an offside where a player cannot cross the blue line before the puck. Well, in Ringette, that's out. No player in Ringette may carry the puck across any line. One of the more interesting stories at these championships is about number 2, 17-year-old Brita Lind of Saskatchewan. Through the skills obtained in Ringette, she is looking at a possible scholarship to a university.
Well, I have a chance to go to Harvard, to play hockey. And when, the coach phoned me, said that I'm first on his recruitment list. And as soon as they heard Canadian and that I once played hockey, they just think that, Wayne Gretzky or something.
One of the big problems in Ringette, we've talked to some of the officials, they'd like to speed up the game. And in order to do that, they may have to go to a shot clock. And we asked Marnie Gutfredson how much this would affect Manitoba's game.
Generally, it will affect the game of Ringette. It'll make it a much faster game. It'll change Manitoba's style, because I know our style does deal with a lot of ring ragging. I think it would be better generally for the game of Ringette. It would speed the game up, and we would just have to learn how to change our style.
Here we see Betty Shields, president of Ringette Canada, present the Jean Sauvé Cup to the Manitoba champions, the girls from Winnipeg. And as we said, 4 years, 4 times out of 5 years is not bad in any sport. Right back at it in the fall, all winding up with their national championships next year in Regina, Saskatchewan. So from Dollard Des Ormeaux, back to Sports Weekend Control in Toronto.
So we're about to bring you the second half of the Edmonton WAM versus Rive-Sud Revolution bronze medal game here at the Canadian Ringette Championships. But man, Lucianne, look at that history. Look how far we've come, hey?
We have, and actually I must admit that I'm actually earlier than that history that was even shown there. But and right at the end there, we had Betty Shields, and Betty was an early president of Ringette Canada, and she was one of the early presidents of the International Ringette Federation. She and Antti Simola from Finland established the International Federation and got started on the first World Championships that were hosted in 1990 in Gloucester, and she was just a force for the expansion of Ringette, not just in Canada but around the world. So she's been a great person for our sport. Probably, I would have to say, only second to Sam and Agnes Jacks. Sam is the one who started the sport of Ringette. He was the recreation director in North Bay, Ontario. And the girls were not allowed to play hockey at that time, so he wanted to find something for them. He had no girls. He had 3 boys. He had 3 sons. One of whom's his granddaughter now plays, and son-in-law was coaching in the Cambridge area. So just some great history from that clip there. Love the tracksuits. By then,
bring those back. Hey?
But now you notice in that clip, by then nobody was wearing figure skates. We did ban them. I started in figure skates, so those got banned early on. And then since then, in terms of equipment, we've got the specialized masks so that a stick can't go through them.
Triangles.
I think over the years we were very lucky that we had no major injuries with that. So just, I love that clip. And the interviews with the players really adds value to it. I love hearing from those early athletes.
Maybe in 40 years they'll show this broadcast and say, hey, look, look where we used to be. We'll be in one of those clips.
I might not be around for that one.
We'll find out. But right now we're getting set for the second half of this bronze medal final. National Ringette Championships, best of best on this ice today. Rive-Sud Revolution again in red and black. Edmonton WAM in blue and red. Edmonton WAM, a little bit of a disappointing showing yesterday. They were the silver medalists last year.
Yes.
They were hoping to go to the gold yesterday. Didn't quite come out on top. Now they're here. They're looking to capture bronze. Rive-Sud last year captured the bronze. They're looking to repeat. So a lot of stakes here today.
There is, and it's interesting. In the semifinal game, WAM really got into some serious penalty trouble with major penalties. So those major penalties are 4 minutes fully served, and they got 2 of those about 25 seconds apart. So they were short-handed, 3-on-2 for Waterloo, and when Waterloo scored, nobody comes out of the box on a major penalty. So that really hurt them. They've really reined that back in today.
As Rive-Sud starts out at center, ice looking fresh and fast once again. That'll make a difference here with the ring.
So my curling reference is there'll be no sweeping required early on here with the passes.
WAM picks that ring up. Really heads up play there to maintain possession on their side.
Great job by Dabaji, and really cautious with her stick. Over her standing shoulder height, and that would have been a penalty, but
Trigger passing down low. Shot opportunity early on St. Pierre. She's strong on that post, but Lauren Henderson waiting. Rive-Sud does the bounce pass on the boards. Morak down to Plant. Plant with the only goal for Rive-Sud so far. 10 seconds on the shot clock. She will want the reset here or a shot. Lavoie with the smart heads-up play. She'll get the fresh 30. Some new legs will change from the bench. Now Keeble moving it to center. Back over to Lavoie. Lacombe rather. Lacombe shoots, goes wide. Keeble with the rebound. It's in. Keeble fires it home. Rive-Sud up once again, 2-1 on a rebound and a heads-up play from Keeble, standing on that low post. Lacombe initially got the shot, bouncing ring off Lavoie's leg. Keeble there makes no mistake. It's a 2-1 lead for Rive-Sud. WAM. The 3 ring at center. Moving over to Shannon. Strong play there from Dumont, taking charge of that ring. Bit of a softer pass, so she steps in. Now she's there on the corner, spinning away from her check. Dumont to Keeble. Ring bounces off of Keeble's skate. A little bit of confusion on the line there, but ultimately touched off.
Once it bounces off the feet, then it's a bit of a scramble who's going to get it. And unfortunately, it was both sides of the line there by Rive-Sud.
WAM looking to answer here.
So when we talk about the 30-second shot clock, that's 30 seconds from the time the team gets control of the ring to take a shot on net. And maybe at another break, we'll talk about the history of that shot clock.
Shannon.
But just make the comparison to basketball or lacrosse in the use of the shot clock for Ringette.
Shannon out wide, shoots, gets deflected above the net, stays wide. 10 seconds on the shot clock here for Tajbar, so she cuts through on the crease, touches. St. Pierre takes the ring. Looking for that outlet. Sends it right to Tashbarsh. Definitely didn't want that throw to go over to Wham.
Yeah, I don't think she wanted to go to Tashbarsh, but even though they played together on Team Canada.
Again, that ring is moving fast with the fresh ice. Need to do a little bit of a calculation with how fast you want that ring to move, how much power you want to put on those passes. Fighting for it at center is Vachon. Vachon's got a mark. She moves it up to friendly territory. It'll get scooped up by Boucher. Boucher on the side, gets the shot. Great Wall strong on her post. Vachon battling. Ryan York ultimately comes up on that. Ring hits the skate, goes bouncing back into the zone here. Wham fighting hard to get this out of their territory. Fevin moves it, tries to get to Henderson. Ultimately picked up here by her sister. Oh, that was Ferry rather. Two-on-one along the boards. Ends up with Drager. Drager's got it. And great channeling there from Rive-Sud to keep her out of the way. Back pass on the fly to Lauren Henderson. Henderson now drops it between her legs to Ketsa. Ketsa to Drager. Drager up top. Meets some traffic. Stays strong on her stick, but it's slowed down enough that triggers the move it or lose it, which you don't see very often at the top of the triangle.
No, but when two sticks get in it like that, it's not really going anywhere.
Great defense from Revolution.
And as we said, all of these athletes train so hard and so strong on the ring.
Wham now in their own zone. To Ketsa. Ketsa to Henderson. Henderson spinning off the check down to Ketsa. Ketsa up front. She's got a little bit of time here. Moves it to Drager, who's on the crease. Just goes through. Drager now out wide. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Sees Ketsa up front just a bit too much. She's been missing those passes. Frustration clear on her, in her body language there. Larock using the support with Elaine. Just a bit too much power on that pass. It'll get tripped up in the chaos. Now back to St. Pierre for the 5-second toss. Wham sending 2-on-1. Again, we're even strength here, but that's been their strategy, is that adaptive attack.
And a smart move by the Rive-Sud ring carrier. She just pops it up high to her teammate in center
Boucher
ice.
moves it to the crossing crease. Just not quite there. Wham will walk into their own space, triggering that whistle, but wow, what a great cross crease pass. Rive-Sud not comfortable with this, a 1-goal lead.
No, I don't think any team in this league is comfortable with a 1-goal lead. Not with the parity that has come about since the start of this league.
Lacombe fights through center and D, gets the shot through, gets taken out at the same time. Greywall now. Great coverage from Rive-Sud makes that impossible to throw. But we were talking in another game, Lucienne, sometimes the goaltenders, they just realize that there's nowhere to put the ring in a place where it's not at risk, and so they'll often just hold on to it.
That's the safe option. You can get, it gives you an opportunity to change lines if you need to, and just get a reset so you don't get anybody caught off guard.
Lavoie on the outside, looking for her options. It's a tight zone, not a lot of space here. Finding it harder to move it across the top of the triangle and make space as Lavoie gets taken down on that low defensive position, triggering that delayed call. They'll get 4 in the zone here. Setting up the box. Lacombe moves it across, and a shot goes wide from Lavoie. She had a good look there. She had a couple fakes, trying to make the defense bite. You could hear the ring bounce off the boards. That had some real power to it, but just not quite on target as WAM enters the penalty box here. And again, there's that tripping call. That'll send Rive-Sud onto the power play. We talked, Lucien, penalties kill teams. There have been a lot of penalties in this game so far. Playing shorthanded is not fun.
No, right now the count. Well, that's the first penalty for Edmonton in this quarter, but they've had 4 prior to this, 2 in each of the first and second quarters, whereas Rive-Sud is just 1 in each quarter. So again, a question from the captain to the referee, Brandon Miller. The other thing that when we talk about the shot clock as well, as soon as the referee puts their arm up for a penalty, there is a reset to 30 seconds for that team, the non-penalized team. So they can basically gain back some of the time they've lost due to that penalty. Because it becomes a broken play, so they get the reset.
Well, and that almost got picked up by Arlinghouse there. Again, this is a very tight zone. There's not a lot of room to work with here for the forwards. So Plante trying to muzzle her way through. Dangerous here. Larocque shoots, it's in! Fires it off the pad. Rive-Sud up 3-1 with Larocque. With the rocket. Just above the pads on Greywall. Beautiful shot from the center mark.
So you see the pass from Plante, and she uses that natural screen of the defender there and pops it up over the stick side shoulder of Greywall. That should settle some things for Larocque now. She hunted for a goal there yesterday. She's got it today.
Bit of a monkey off her back as she moves her team up to a 2-goal lead here. Lots of time left. Still 6.5 minutes in this quarter and the fourth quarter to come. Will WAM answer? That's with Ketsa. Ketsa moving it into center for Henderson. She slides through, avoids the crease. Revolution feeling some heat here. Ketsa picks it up front to Drager. Just not making the stab. That ring will make its way over 2 lines. Again, that fresh ice making a difference. Rive-Sud now taking advantage of that misplay. Now on the offense. Fakes it. Looking for an outlet here is Lavoie. She doesn't see a spot. Wants to keep the cycle moving. Now with Keeble. Keeble moving it to Lavoie. Lavoie cutting across the center, and the D makes the shot. Tried to go for the 5-hole, but Drager had overcommitted on that center position, leaving that lane completely open to Lavoie. Great shot from Greywall to keep that out. Shannon at center. Moving it into open ice in the corner. She knew the change was happening with Tajbar. She skates right into it. 10 seconds on the shot clock remain. Fires it. String bounces out. No one there for WAM. Now the fight ensues. Popped out for Rive-Sud. Lavoie. Lacombe. For Larocque, rather.
And Larocque made a nifty little twist there to turn away from the defender marking her.
Larocque saw that top corner. Just goes high. No reset here. Needs another shot. And that'll get blown down for...
Yeah, there was a 5-second count on a 4-in for Edmonton here. Just one of those accidental, didn't stop in time, ended up across the line. So it's only a 5 count.
Yeah. Math is hard sometimes, 1, 2, 3. Sometimes it's a challenge. And I say that because I'm a forward, so I can say that. Math is hard for me. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Vachon through her legs to Larocque. Larocque on that short side. Tries it again. Gets picked up by a little bit of traffic there. Still makes his way to the net, but Greywall makes the easy toss. Now Shannon can't find a space to put it.
You see Rive-Sud's doing the individual marking, the man-on marking. So
Krocek spins. She still has it. Now it's with Tajbar. She gets the shot off. St. Pierre diving for that low post shot from Shannon.
We do have a penalty on the play to Rive-Sud.
be, I believe, Laurence asking Jamie Nelson about the call. Looks like she's about to, hooking. There you go. So 2 minutes for hooking to Laurence Larocque. She's shrugging. She says, what did I do? So,
Most of the players do that. They're all
You could
innocent.
try.
They're all innocent in their own eyes.
But you said something in an earlier game, Lucienne, about it doesn't matter if you intended to or not. It's still going to be a penalty, right?
That's correct. If there's intention, it's going to be 4 minutes. Just because you said I'm sorry doesn't get you off the hook.
So 2 minutes in the Sinden for Laurence Larocque as WAM is trying to close this lead. Drager and Ketsa. Drager now. The ring just clipped by a skate, so it'll make its way into the crease for St. Pierre. 2-on-1 pressure here in the corner, not making Rive-Sud's life easy.
No, but again, doing that flip pass up high, at least get it out of the zone. Get reset in their own end for Edmonton to come back.
Anderson to Ketsa. A little bit of wobble on that ring, harder to stab. Divaji now. Stepping in as the D. There were 4 in briefly. I thought that would have been called. Oops. And a sliding ring into the corner.
Just under a minute left in the penalty to Rive-Sud. So they took that opportunity to get some new skaters out there.
Just saving it over the line. Plant tries to get it away. It's bounced off of Krocek. She'll pick up that loose ring again. That ring just finding its way to bodies rather than sticks. Now back with Rive-Sud. Spinning away from it. Plant now in her favorite part of the ice. On that glove side, low. She'll start the skate behind the net. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Does the drop pass. Wants to make a change. Get some fresh legs out for Revolution. Lavoie spinning up top. Met with Krocek at the line. Over to Lacombe. Lacombe, she fans on the shot. Stepped up front. Not quite there. Time was expiring on the shot clock. Good effort there, but just not quite enough to get it to the net.
And they're back to full strength here for Rive-Sud.
Larocque back on. Nestuka down into the corner, tries to find Krocek. Elaine fighting for that possession as well. Gets up from her knees, picks it up. Now Larocque at center. She's getting picked up by Ryan York. Again, such an aggressive center ice play. Home. Over to Boucher.
And you can see again Rive-Sud taking the opportunity to change their forwards here. It's the short change for their forwards in this quarter.
Evo with the backhand shot. Gets the reset there. Didn't have too much of an angle. But maintained possession with Rive-Sud. WAM not sure where that ring's going to be. Still fighting for it. 2-on-2 now. Ryan York comes up with it. Moves it ahead to neutral ice. And a spinning play for Bork, rather. To keep that one with her team now. WAM winning that battle along the boards. Arlinghouse.
Just 30 seconds left here in this quarter.
Now to Fevin. Fevin back to Arlinghouse. She'll touch it on one side so she can't touch it on the other. She's waiting for someone else to pick that up, hoping it's a WAM player. Keeble. Passing it right over to Drager. Drager to Ketsa. Ketsa shoots it in. Keeble
No
gives
mistake
it away.
there.
Drager to Ketsa. Drager looked like she was trying to change. And that is a dynamic duo you don't want to be giving free rings to.
No.
Ketsa taking the game within one with 10.2 seconds remaining. You can see the excitement on her face.
Well, great intercept there by Drager. Just a miscue on the Rive-Sud defender, how she directed that ring. So I think we're going to finish on that note. Drager going to take a long shot. And that is it. We're at 3-2 here after 3 periods of some exceptional play.
WAM still very much in contention. This is a very close game. It can still go either way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was going to talk a little bit about the shot clock, the history of the shot clock, too. I was explaining to, I believe, to you a little earlier today, Emily, when the shot clock first came in, there was some disagreement at Ringette Canada levels about the application of the shot clock and whether it would go to be all divisions that would have to play it or not. And so really people were uncomfortable with approving that rule change. In Finland, they were using the shot clock, but their 30 seconds only started when the team crossed their attacking blue line. So the first time after that there was an international event, international championship, the compromise is that we would start the free pass from the defending blue line. Because once Canada approved the shot clock, we started it from control right away when the team gained control. So then after, there was only the one championship where we did it from the defending blue line. And after that, Finland converted to the control. So around the world now it is played from control.
And we like it that way.
We do. I mean, there's when you're talking international, there's compromises made on rules between the countries or among the countries, and I guess we could say we won that battle.
I guess you could say. Here's hoping to win a battle with WAM starting at center. They're within 1. 13 minutes left in this bronze medal game. They've still got time, but Rive-Sud, they'll want to make their mark as well here. Henderson up top. Back to Drager. Drager shoots hard. St. Pierre gloves it. Looking for her pass. Finds it with Larocque, who pushes that ring up for it. She couldn't quite get the stab. And Drager will get caught up along the board. So ring back to St. Pierre.
Yeah, Drager's got that long stick, so when she winds up, she gets a pretty hard shot away.
Moving it down the ice. Cycling it for Plante. She's got a goal today. Hunting for that second one. 10 seconds on the shot clock. It's checked off along that line. Again, it's a very tight area. You don't have a lot of room to play with as a forward. And that shovel shot bounced off of Graywall. WAM picking up the rebound. Moving it into center. A bit too much heat on that pass. Needs to be picked up by Rive-Sud. Now they do. Dumont doesn't make the stab, but the ring carries itself over the line. Mitsuka now for WAM. Easy toss to Shannon. She stays with it. Dibaji tosses it. Now Shannon. Channeled out into a low percentage area. She'll restart that check, that cycle. 10 seconds. Turns into a full count now. Revolution in the zone. Some time here left. Larocque, she wants another. Passing it to Plante. Couldn't stab it. Rebounds it out of the zone so Arlinghouse can touch it. She capitalizes it, moves it to Mitsuka. And some great channeling there up at center. Bevan wanted that lane. Takes the shot, goes wide. Moves it along to Arlinghouse. She's got very limited time here. Gets the reset, but the ring stays with St. Pierre, so she'll toss it behind for Lavoie. Lavoie with a long pass right over to Cuneo. Cuneo to Sezia. Sezia tries to make it across the crease, but Kate Henderson gets her stick on it. That could have been scary, but there's enough snow to stop that ring from going anywhere past Graywall.
Yeah, that's what we saw that the Thursday with Montreal defender trying that same block, and unfortunately that ring did end up in the net. So heads up by both Greywall and Henderson on that play.
Says yeah. Down to Lavoie. Lavoie dropping it to Keeble. Keeble to Lavoie. Inner skates, can't find it. Battle with Drager now. Henderson moves it up. Drager with the long stick, reach to Ketsa. Ketsa's one-on-one shoots. St. Pierre gets it with her stick. Another opportunity for Drager to Ketsa with the speed coming in. St. Pierre on top of it. Ketsa wants to settle it, motioning with her glove. We've got time. Henderson to Drager. Drager stats, shoots, goes high. A lot of power. Henderson with the pickup on that rebound. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Over to Drager. Drager from out wide. Back to Henderson up top. Henderson fakes it, shoots, doesn't get through traffic. Larocque steps into it with Vachon. Vachon getting squeezed along those boards. Now Larocque has it. Facing some heat. Now to Plante. Plante, again on her favorite side of the net. Starts her cycle around. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Coming out wide. Moves it back. Down low. Larocque tries to find Plante again. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Over to Laurent. She needs to take the shot. Starts! She scores! Wow. Sends it through. Defensive legs. Greywall could not see that. Just above her pads. Wham! Down by 2 again.
And Larocque again, using the natural screen set up by the defender, puts it right between her legs.
Just a beautiful shot there, knowing exactly where she wanted to place it. The thing that we get taught in Ringette is often that, you know, if you're starting to see the shot clock, you're hearing your goalie tap the stick at the 10 seconds, you still have a third of the shot clock left. She had seconds counting down, about 2 by the time she shot that. She wasn't going to waste it. She was going to make that a worthy shot, and that it was.
And Larocque has the experience to work that clock too. She's not feeling pressure to shoot at the 10, as you say, at the 10-second mark.
Wham, trailing by 2 once again. Larocque with the last 2 goals. Masuka at center. Shovels it down for Krochak. Krochak with the long toss to Shannon. Just a bit too much, so Larocque will step into it. She's starting with speed, trying to get away from those tough plays. Wham doing a great job of keeping any option out. Forcing that pass along the boards. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Still haven't left the zone. Now Wham picks it up. They're winning that battle. They need this to start kicking in. Now Drager with speed, coming off the change. 18 seconds on the shot clock, staying out wide, using the zone. Pick up front with Ketsa. And that's poked off the stick by Revolution. Now Wham with it again. Henderson. She thought she had the pass over, but a really great positioning there from Dumont. Took that lane away. Would have been something high risk in front of the net for Ketsa, but again, heads up play by Dumont. Now on the front is Larocque. Larocque, she fakes it, she goes, she shoots. Greywall with the save. She yelled for it, she got it. She had everyone on her heels. Still gets the shot up, but Greywall stands strong.
You know, like great communication there from Larocque to call for that pass, and then Greywall gets the pout out on it. Good for her.
It was a beautiful save.
There's some line changes going on.
Plante takes it. Tries to move it to Boucher. Drager playing the aggressive center. Now Debaji to Ketsa. Ketsa facing the channel along the boards. Cuts through the crease. Gets the shot off. And that'll be a crease violation by Revolution, so it'll go back to Wham. Starting to see some more speed picking up here, Luciane. I mean, Wham is still down by 2, but You can start to feel that energy pick up as they get more speed going into the zone. They're getting more settled into their coverage, starting to own the possession a little bit more. They just need to convert something here.
They do, and we're just halfway through this fourth quarter of regulation time. 6:30 left on the clock.
Drager sees it down low to Ketsa. They've
pulled their goalie.
4 in. An adapted box here. Now over to Boucher. Greywall's got to make the long skate. Boucher almost gets the ring far enough, but that was blocked over by, I think, Mitsuka. Or maybe Debaji. One of them gets a stick in the way as Greywall starts coming back onto the bench. Now they're only sending 5 players on, so they have the flexibility to send her back out. But 4 in the zone. Debaji, Drager, Ketsa, and Henderson now boxing out. Debaji shoots, that's off the post! St. Pierre didn't know where it was. It almost came out of the crease. Henderson having some words. A lot of tension there. St. Pierre catching a lucky break. There's a lot of snow in front of that crease, slowing that ring down. She thought she had it in her pads.
She did, and so smart move not to move. I'm sure there was some communication. Yeah, I'm sure there's some communication from her defense letting her know to stay where she was.
Greywall still on the bench here. Ryan York now with this 4-on-3. Drager. Shannon. To Ryan York. Ryan York shoots.
Great shot.
Far post. Low corner.
Just inside that post. That's exactly what it was the first goal that Revolution scored.
WAM is now within 1. Bronze medal final at the National Ringette Championships. Just a beautiful placement. Knew exactly where she needed that ring to be. Keeps it low. St. Pierre was a little bit back in her net.
Yeah, so she left that bit of space and it just banked it off the inside of the post.
And Kaylee Ryan York, great goal there. She's typically a defense, so.
But she was the one that was stepping up on that for when they had the goalie out. It had been Debaji earlier on the earlier shift.
Keeble shoots. Greywall strong, steady, keeps her glove right into that lane. Some physicality here. Now the ring's up for Ketsa. She makes it in time before it crosses the line, does the support. Ferry to Drager. Drager with the smooth backhand, doesn't get it far enough over to Ketsa. St. Pierre will make the toss. And a firing shot, it's in! The hat trick! Takes advantage of Greywall being off the ice. There's your hat trick for your bronze medal.
And
you don't see that often, but wow, there was a lot of power on that one.
And that is the natural hat trick. So LaRock with a beautiful shot, just perfect aim right between the pipes.
And a heads up to know that was there. The tendency is to not necessarily go for that. It's to get the ring up the ice, but she knew that was a wide open opportunity. And she stays on the ice. She's got that tenacity. You can feel the energy coming off of her. She's just gotten better and better throughout this whole game.
Yeah, she's definitely feeling it this game. Just doing some great things.
Mitsuka to Taj-Barsh. Taj-Barsh wants to settle it down. She's got some time here. Shannon now at the top of the zone. Passing it to
the Greywall out of the net again, so you see the 4 Edmonton skaters.
To Shannon. Shannon shoots. St. Pierre gets a piece. Krocek batting at it. Goes wide. Debaji getting that picked up at center. Still maintaining the possession despite the fall. WAM in neutral territory. Goes to the corner for Krocek. 18 seconds on the shot clock here. WAM needs to respond. Still some time left here, but as it dwindles, more needs to happen. Shannon at the top of the triangle, shoots, tries to go top corner. There were some gasps from the crowd on that one. Very close look. They keep trying to pick that top blocker side.
But great communication from Cunha that ring was right beside St. Pierre.
Now over to Dumont with the stretch to pick up that pass. And Larocque just bobbles it.
No, it actually went right by her. Whoa, and we've got a big boom in center ice here. Hand up by the referee.
Graywell going back to her bench. Ketsa, Drager. Drager now on the inside. Down low to Ketsa. She shoots low with some power, gets the reset, and the rebound is now with Drager. Down low to Henderson. Henderson steps up along the crease. Strong defense to keep her away. Henderson to Shannon. Down to Drager. Drager to Ketsa. Ketsa again, hard on the ice. Goes wide. Time ticking here. Shot on the low side from Henderson. St. Pierre has it. That will put WAM up on the power play with 1 minute and 46 seconds remaining in this bronze medal game. This is for everything. And the way we think about this in Ringette, and I know I keep bringing this up, but for our newer followers in this game, sometimes we'll divide the time up in how many shot clocks are remaining. So we've got 4 shot clocks remaining at time, and actually that's quite a lot. A lot can still happen at this point. What WAM is probably thinking is we need to put our offensive power out. We need to capitalize on this opportunity. They're probably going to pull Graywall again. Put the 4 in the zone. They need to get one quick, and then they need to get a second one quick. If Rive-Sud Revolution gets the ring, all they're going to do is control it, and that's going to be hard for WAM.
Yeah, now, Revolution is going to be down by 1 player for the balance of this regulation time. That's Dumont with that penalty. So you can see WAM's putting 6 skaters out. There's no point in having your goalie run back and forth.
Yeah.
You have to win the game now.
Full commitment.
So 6 skaters out there. Revolution will only have 4, so they will try and control that ring, but again, they won't be afraid to fire it down the ice now, knowing that net is empty.
Henderson to Drager. Drager to Ketsa. Ketsa shoots. No problem for St. Pierre, right into her chest. Now up for Lavoie. Lavoie sees it. Shoots it down far for Larocque. She can't touch it. It's on both sides of the line. And makes the attempt. WAM picks things back up. 1 minute and 30 remaining in this bronze final. Drager up front, shoots, goes wide. Again, had power on it. Just needs to hit target. Henderson with the 4 on in the zone.
Gets the reset on this one.
Just over 1 minute remaining. It's Ketsa now. Shannon, rather. Fires it high. Does the block. The pick on the front. Henderson steps into the crease. St. Pierre is there. They've tried that a couple times. St. Pierre just standing strong. Showing that veteran skill. Shutting the door. Larocque with her hat trick. Now with the ring in the dying seconds of this game.
Great strength by Larocque to hang on to that ring.
Flips it up to Drager. Drager sees Debaji. Debaji to Ketsa. She's got Henderson low, fakes it. Doesn't get through the defensive traffic. Now Henderson, again, tight to that crease. Not a lot of space to move the ring. 20 seconds left in this game. Drager missing that pass, swapping with Debaji. Debaji wants something here. As the crowd starts to get more and more excited behind them. St. Pierre whipping it up into center. And that takes the bronze for the second year in a row. Your 2026 Canadian Ringette Championships bronze finalist, Rive-Sud Revolution, slowly dominating the scoreboard. Vachon sending it home as the seconds counted down. Graywell out of her net, sealing the deal. They are your bronze medalists here in Ottawa.
So as you said, Emily, it's 6-3 is our final score. Is that one another buzzer beater here today?
WAM just coming up short. Couldn't click into that offensive that they're so known for. St. Pierre showing her skill, showing her ability to keep herself in check. It's an emotional game, but she stood strong. She's used to these kind of high-pressure environments. Keeps her team within this one, but we have to talk about Laurence Larocque. What a fabulous showing today.
So Laurence Larocque she assisted on the first goal, and then she broke out in the second half.
Yes.
She had 3 goals in that second half, a natural hat trick. The only interruption to that was the penalty she took.
Yes.
But just so strong, reads the play so well, saw that opening and threw it right down to the net for her third goal. And just, you know, that goal was a killer for the Edmonton momentum.
Absolutely. And, you know, she's one of their captains, showing that leadership to your team in high-pressure situations. That's, you know, one of the bigger jobs is becoming the captain.
And even just small moves that she did. There was like one that I had noticed there where she just was able to turn her body away enough from her check that it was an easy pass for her teammate to get to her. She's just creating space and creating opportunities. And they took full advantage of the opportunity she gained out there.
Well, that initial goal from Plante set the tone. Rive-Sud up by 1 most of this game, tied for a little bit. Then they just started poking that lead ahead. Smiles on their faces, saying hello to the crowd. We've got lots of people that have traveled. Got other Rive-Sud teams here to support. Again, back-to-back bronze medalists. And it hasn't been an easy road to get here. There's been battles across all week. And impressive showing today.
It was. And like we were saying, the parity that we're seeing in this league now from when it's the league started in, I believe it was 2002, and the adjustments, and then the adjustments are just amazing.
Well, we're glad to have brought the action to you. Thank you for tuning in to the bronze medal final for the National Ringette League. 6-3 is your final score. Rive-Sud Revolution taking the bronze medal against Edmonton WAM, repeating last year's results. 2025 bronze medalists, 2026 bronze medalists. Unfortunately, Edmonton WAM going home with nothing, but they'll come back strong next year.
Absolutely.
Join us for the gold medal game coming up in just a few short minutes. Stick with us, stay with us. Thank you for joining us from wherever you are. We're happy to bring the games to you. We're going to have another good one up next. BC Thunder versus Waterloo Wildfire.